What's going on, y'all? Brother Shay here in New Orleans Revival Center Restoration Embassy. And it's a shame, but we have to make another video on this topic because we received some pushback after our last one. So let's get into it. Does the Bible really support women leading the church? Let's read it carefully. I want to address something I was recently sent about women in ministry and leadership in the church. The argument goes like this. Yes, men are heads in marriage, but that doesn't apply to church leadership. God used Deborah, women prophesied, and Paul worked with women, so women can lead spiritually over men. This sounds reasonable at first if you don't know any better, but when you actually read scripture carefully, it doesn't hold up. First, the Bible never separates marriage leadership from spiritual leadership. In Ephesians 5, Paul connects headship to Christ and the church. In 1 Corinthians 11, he connects headship to creation. In 1 Timothy 2, he connects it to teaching and authority. That means God's order isn't just about the home. It's about spiritual structure. Now, let's talk about Deborah. Yes, Deborah judged Israel, but notice she was not a priest, did not offer sacrifices, did not lead temple worship. She summoned Barak, told him to obey God, and even told him, if I have to come with you into battle, a man is not going to receive the credit, but a woman is, letting him know that it would be embarrassing and a shame. Her role was judicial and prophetic, not pastoral. Scripture presents that as a period of time when everyone did what was right in their own eyes, just like today. It was a season of disorder, not God's ideal design. Now, what about women prophesying? Yes, women prophesied. So did men. But prophecy is not the same as governing the church. In the New Testament, church authority is clearly tied to elders and overseers. And every single time God gives those qualifications, he says the husband of one wife, able to manage his household, a man of good reputation. That's not cultural. That's biblical. People will say Paul worked with women, and yes, he did. Women like Priscilla, Phoebe, and Lydia were faithful servants of God. But serving alongside leadership is not the same as holding governing authority. There's a difference between helping ministry and leading it. And Paul makes that clear in 1 Timothy 2:12. Once again, I do not permit a woman to teach or exercise authority over a man. Drop mic, take offering services over. That's not hate. That's not oppression. That's order. And Paul even tells us why. Because Adam was formed first and because Eve was deceived. He grounds it in creation, not culture. So the idea that it was just historical doesn't work. Paul knew the culture. He lived in it and still gave those instructions. Some people say that God can use anyone, and he can. He used a donkey to speak. But that doesn't mean that donkeys are pastors. God using someone does not mean that he changed his structure. Biblical authority does not come from talent, gifts, or sincerity. It comes from obedience to his word, because God is a God of order. And when the church abandons God's design, confusion always follows. So let's honor scripture over culture, even when it challenges us, y'all.